Welcome back to Medinare. In this video, let's discuss about dental X-ray machine. X-ray machine used in dentistry has three parts, namely the tube head, extension arm, and the control panel. Let's understand the parts of X-ray tube. Alright, this is what an X-ray tube looks like from its inside. It may look complicated, but trust me, I'll make it easy for you all. X-ray tube is composed mainly of cathode and anode, and it is situated within an evacuated glass envelope or a glass tube. For X-ray production, electrons stream from the filament present in the cathode towards the target present in the anode, and the energy from some of the electron is converted into X-rays. Now let's decode the cathode. The cathode in an X-ray tube consists of a filament and a focusing cup. The filament is a source of electrons within the X-ray tube. What exactly the filament is made of? It is a coil of tungsten wire approximately 2 centimeters in diameter and 1 centimeter or less in length. Also, filaments contain approximately 1% thorium. Why so? Because it greatly increases the release of electrons from the heated wire. So how the electrons get released from the filament? When we heat the filament to incandescence with a low voltage source, it emits electrons at a rate proportional to the temperature of the filament. Right, now let's talk about the focusing cup. Filament lies in a focusing cup, which is a negatively charged concave molybdenum bowl. The parabolic shape of the focusing cup electrostatically focuses the electrons emitted by the filament into a narrow beam directed at a small rectangular area on the anode called the focal spot. So the filament is made of tungsten and the focusing cup is made of molybdenum. The electrons move to the focal spot because they are repelled by the negatively charged cathode and are attracted to the positively charged anode. The X-ray tube is evacuated in order to prevent collision of the fast-moving electron with that of the gas molecules, which would significantly reduce their speed. The vacuum also prevents oxidation or burnout of the filament. Now let's move on to the anode. The anode in an X-ray tube consists of a tungsten target embedded in a copper stem. The reason of the target in an X-ray tube is to convert the kinetic energy of the colliding electrons into X-ray photons. The conversion of the kinetic energy of electrons into X-ray photons is an inefficient process, with more than 99% of the electrons' kinetic energy is converted into heat. The target area is called the focal spot, and the target area is made of tungsten because this element has got several characteristics for an ideal target material to be. Those are, it has high atomic number, which allows for efficient X-ray production. It has high melting point to withstand heat produced during X-ray production. And it has high thermal conductivity to dissipate the heat produced away from the target. And it has low vapor pressure as well at the working temperature of an X-ray tube to help maintain vacuum in the tube at high operating temperatures. Tungsten target is typically embedded in a large block of copper which functions as thermal conductor to remove heat from tungsten, reducing the risk of target melting. Let's move on to the X-ray tube's power supply. The X-ray tube and the true transformers lie within the electrically grounded metal housing called the head of the X-ray machine. The primary function of the power supply transformers of an X-ray machine are to provide a low voltage current to heat the X-ray tube filament and to generate a high potential difference to accelerate electrons from cathode to the focal spot on the anode. The next part of the dental X-ray machine is the control panel, which has got an on and off switch, an indicator light, control devices to regulate the X-ray beam, and it is plugged into the electrical outlet. We also have an extension arm that suspends the X-ray tube head. It houses the electrical wires that extend from the control panel to the tube head, and it is also responsible for movement and positioning of the tube head. So here is a schematic outline of whatever we have studied till now. In this picture, we could be able to see an X-ray tube, the components of the power supply, and oil that conducts heat away from the X-ray tube. The path of useful X-ray beam from the anode through the glass wall of the X-ray tube, the oil, and finally an aluminum filter. The beam size is restricted by the metal tube housing and a collimator. So that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you guys found it helpful. Do like this video and subscribe to Medinare for more. Thanks for watching.